Hello, and welcome to the first edition of the Wizard Weekly News of this semester. I'm Hayden Scott.
And I'm Emma Younger. Thanks as always for joining us. We hope the first 2 weeks of this semester went by smoothly for everyone. And remember, only 9 weeks until spring break.
More good news speaking of school. We have no school on Monday due to the Martin Luther King holiday. So enjoy your sleep and remember to show respect to Martin Luther King Jr.
Have fun this 3-day weekend. In other news, the robotics team is busy as the state competition approaches in early February. The robotics team took part in a tournament over the weekend, and as they prepare for the state tournament, there is still lots of work to do between now and then. Clayton Davidson and Kurt Shackelford have more.
FTC, First Tech Challenge, is a robotics organization our school goes through. It is a worldwide organization with over 15,000 robotics teams. Windsor High School makes up 3 of these teams this year: 5115, 6382, and 10448. The FTC Robotics Challenge for the 2019-2020 season is called Skystone. Every year the challenge is redesigned, leaving the only remnants of last year's challenge just being the field size and the same mats on the floor. This year the challenge centers around stacking stones, the yellow rectangular Lego blocks. Stacking these on your assigned color's foundation as well as fitting under the small bridge earns you additional points. The middle of the bridge, which is higher up, earns you no additional points when taking a Skystone over.
I really like the programming aspect because I get to see my work from the computer come to life with the robot.
Out of our 3 teams, we have Team 10448, a team with less experience pulled together to learn the basics of robotics for some, but for others to perfect their skills and learn how FTC works. Our 2 other teams have years of experience. 5115 has 4 fourth-year robotics seniors. This team, as well as the other more experienced team 6382, have access to parts just for their team, to allow efficient allocation of resources and parts for our teams. Because of this, these teams have very high expectations. The only struggle for robotics members, other than random errors, are team schedules, and getting time in the lab with a job, school, and other extracurriculars. These busy schedules require teams to coordinate their schedules and have meetings to discuss the next week's objectives. This year we are excited to see our teams place in our state qualifiers and hope to see all 3 teams at our state tournament in February.
My favorite part is basically seeing our students succeed and see them go on to bigger things after high school and having robotics be a part of that.
Building and programming robots is not the only thing that the teams do. A part of being on the robotics team is a service project. Each team has to help out with something service-wise. That can be from mentoring the Lego League team at the middle school to solving a real-life problem. This group, which consists of some people from 6382 and one from Team 10448, is helping to mentor the Lego League team at the Windsor Middle School. We interviewed Maya Houston Cooper about her service project.
So there are currently 2 different teams.
How long have you been mentoring the middle schoolers?
I've been mentoring them this year and last year, so 2 years. I did Lego League my two of my years in middle school, so I'm helping out Miss Lester, mentoring the kids.
What's it like mentoring the middle schoolers?
It's pretty fun. They're pretty smart kids, so they don't need us that much. But
The robotics team just finished up with their first state qualifier. All 3 of the Windsor teams placed well, and Team 5115 was given a spot in the state tournament and was also part of the alliance that set the world record for points, reaching a score of 136.
Another Windsor team that is in the middle of their season is the Knowledge Bowl team. Over the weekend, the Wizard Invitational was held right here at Windsor High, featuring the team from WHS.
As a number of our teams know, competing against other 5A teams can be very difficult, and the Knowledge Bowl team is no exception. We caught up with head coach Mr. Thompson at the tournament and asked him to give us an update on the Knowledge Bowl team.
I mean, it's tough being in 5A. The difference between 4 and 5 is the difference between amateur and pro. And so, but everybody's got a great attitude about it, and now that they're used to competing with 5A teams, they know the expectations, so they're starting to play that way as well. So we've got Addison Moyer, Bryce Medlin, Julia Place, Peyton Schumann, Adam Baker. Those round out a lot of the varsity, and then we've had some swing folks, but this is one of the more balanced teams we have through the various ages. We've got a lot of good seniors, juniors, sophomores, and a good set of freshmen. We have one more regular season, and that's at Fossil Ridge. That one's always good as a precursor to state because it's the largest one other than state. We have regionals in February, so that's kind of the big matchup, qualify for state. And with this team, they're strong enough. They've had enough experience. You know, even though it's 5A, I still think we're bringing home some hardware this year. So that's my expectation. So
They have 2 more meets before the regionals at the end of February, with the state tournament waiting in March. Good luck to our Knowledge Bowl team for the rest of the season, and stay tuned to the Wizard Weekly News for further updates.
We here at the Wizard Weekly News like to highlight the greatness that is Windsor High School, and any time that we can, we like to highlight what's going on in the classroom as well. This week, we will focus on Mrs. Estrada's theater class.
Last semester, the Theater 2 class learned about the art of makeup and mask making. A number of those masks are now on display in the library for students and staff to see. We talked to Mrs. Estrada and asked her about the project and what she hopes students and staff will see in those masks.
We're done with the Theater 2 class, and we actually created them last semester. The students were to either take a character from a movie, a book, a TV show. A few decided to just create their own characters, and they did the whole process where they put it on their face and a partner had to form it, and then the student whose face it took the shape of, they did the decorations part. I hope they learn the process of design. We talked about that a little bit, and about how to represent a character through without facial expressions, and how do you design that character.
That's going to do it for this edition of the Wizard Weekly News. Thanks for joining us.
And we will see you next week.